Taylor Swift's blue light motorcade?
So I've seen the story in the Sun newspaper this morning. I haven't spoken to the Home Secretary directly, but what I do know is that when you have major events, whether in London or in other parts of the UK, the Home Secretary will be involved in a conversation where there is a security risk. I also know that she doesn't have the power, nor would she use the power to insist that any individual got the top level of private security arrangements. That is an operational matter for the police, not for the government.
So who did?
Well, the police made the decision. Ultimately, it is their decision, and nobody else can make it. Well, that's not my understanding, and I've read the Sun article, and there seems to be an acceptance that that is what happened in this case. The Home Secretary will, of course, make a considered judgment about that and express a view. I would expect her to do that when the security of the public is at risk. Don't forget that when it comes to Taylor Swift, what had just happened was that a series of concerts had been cancelled in Vienna because of a very serious security threat. We've had, I'm a Greater Manchester MP. I have constituents who were at the Ariana Grande concert in Manchester and are still living with the impact of that. We've got to make sure that we take this seriously and that we get it right. But I utterly reject that there's been any kind of wrongdoing or undue influence in this case.
What involvement did the London mayor have?
Well, my understanding is that he was involved in the discussion. He should be involved in the discussion, and normally would any mayor of London should, if it's happening in your city. If this was in Merseyside, I'd expect Steve Rotherham to be involved. In Manchester, Andy Burnham. But the decision about who gets security and who doesn't is an operational matter for the police, not for the mayor.
Yeah, should the mayor be taking many thousands of pounds worth of tickets to go and see the star that had this blue light police escort?
I think the mayor actually absolutely should be at major events in London that have a huge boost to the economy. I think the same in Merseyside, where Steve Rotherham is the mayor. The Liverpool Taylor Swift events were one of the biggest boosts to the Liverpool economy for a long time. But I think it's right that elected mayors should go and support that. I'm the Culture Secretary. I've been at music events, I've been at sporting events over the summer. I was at the Paralympics cheering on Team GB. When I go to these events, I don't just go. I have meetings with UK Music, I have meetings with UK Sport.
Yeah, not talking about you with respect, talking about the Mayor of London and the Home Secretary potentially intervening in something like this, the Home Secretary not getting involved. We believe the Mayor of London was involved with the Met. We believe that the Met initially said, despite what happened in Austria, they felt that this event was safe, then went back to the Met and asked them to reconsider. She was given a blue light escort on more than one occasion. In addition to that, our Prime Minister was also at this event. He's now paying back the money for these tickets given to him by Universal Music Group. Universal Music Group is the record label for Taylor Swift. What do the optics say there?
Well, the reason that you know all of that is because we declared it. We've been open and transparent and...
No, you didn't initially. That's not true.
Well, no, we have declared it. I mean, all of us actually have declared our donations in the run-up to the campaign and also after the general election. And unlike the Conservative government, we were bound by parliamentary rules. So all of the things that we've claimed for or taken as donations or gifts over the last year, you'll be able to see
With
not
respect,
just
I'm not going
what
down
we've
that
done,
route.
but
I'm
the
talking
value.
about the optics of the record label that promotes Taylor Swift, the biggest star in the world at the moment, giving free tickets to a Prime Minister whose government and police service, certainly within London, gave the biggest star in the world a blue light motorcade when initially it was thought that that was not the right thing to do. You can see where I'm going with that. That is not good optics for your government.
Look, I can absolutely see where you're going with it, but I think the question is, should we be declaring this or not? And we do think we should be declaring it, which is why you and I are having this conversation. These will always be judgments that people have to make about whether we are doing the right or wrong thing. There are people who think I shouldn't be going to things like the Paralympics or the Euros final.
About you.
No, I accept that, but there are people who think that I shouldn't. That's why I declare everything. It's why the Prime Minister declares everything.
And the Prime Minister are going to this concert and they're some way involved and decide it, overruling the decision by the Metropolitan Police, they should stay a mile away from that concert.
Well, first of all, there's no suggestion that the Prime Minister did any such thing.
I'm sure he's aware of it.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know, and I don't think you know either. But there's no suggestion that that's what
I know.
Okay, well, you may know things that I don't know, Kay, in which case you can clear that up for the viewers. But there is no suggestion in the Sun article that the Prime Minister did any such thing. The Mayor was transparent and open about declaring what he did, and he doesn't have the power.
The Prime Minister did not know that she was going to get a blue light motorcade.
No, I'm not trying to get you to believe anything. I've just said to you I haven't had a conversation with him or with the Home Secretary, but what I can tell you is that neither the Prime Minister nor the Home Secretary nor the Mayor of London has the power to override the police on this matter. It is an operational decision for the police. Pardon?
They can ask them to reconsider.
Well, they can put their own view. That's certainly the case. But you would expect the Home Secretary and the Mayor of the city where this event is taking place, given the history of what had just happened in Vienna, to be involved in a conversation about security arrangements. What you wouldn't expect is for them to be able to attend
the concert.
For them to be. Well, I don't think that's true. Actually, I mean, the Home Secretary didn't attend the concert, as far as I'm aware. But I don't think that's right.
But the Mayor of London did.
Yeah, the Mayor of
London
went
twice.
But I don't. We're now in a situation where, I mean, most of Sky News
tickets from Universal Music Group.
I mean, most of Sky News was at these events in these same boxes as well, to be completely fair.
Who was there?
And, well, you were there.
I paid for my tickets. I paid for my tickets.
Well, he's paying for his tickets.
Eventually he paid for them.
But he's paying for his tickets, and he's been clear about that because he thinks it's
8 months
important.
Earlier. So please don't do that.
No, but he genuinely does think it's important.
Who else went
and he is
apart
paying
from
for
me?
it.
From Sky?
Well, I went, and I've declared that in line with the ministerial code.
But you don't work for Sky.
But your suggestion is that somehow they shouldn't be going.
My
point is that as long as they declare it and are absolutely upfront about what has happened, people can judge for themselves, and people will judge for themselves. You're absolutely right, and it's fair that they do that. But the suggestion that the Home Secretary intervened and made a decision about security arrangement for Taylor Swift is simply not true. She doesn't have the power to do so, and that is not what has happened in this case. Well, she doesn't have the power to do so. That's how I know. It's an operational decision for the police. In the end, the police have to make the decision.
So you're saying if the Home Secretary rings the Metropolitan Police Chief, he wouldn't pick the phone up?
Of course. Okay. Taylor Swift herself has said that there was a discussion between her security services, the government and the Metropolitan Police, and she's extremely grateful that they were able to come to an agreement that the police were able to action.
How worried are you about the infighting at the top, in the top flight of Premier League football?
I think there's been lots of issues in football, but the biggest issue that the government is involved with is the issue about sustainability. The question of the Premier League is a matter for the Premier League and for the clubs to resolve amongst themselves. What I'm really focused on is making sure that we have a sustainable, fair game from the Premier League, which is a great British export, and it brings great joy to people all the way through the championship clubs to the grassroots. That's why we're introducing the independent football regulator through legislation, which we announced in the King's Speech. I'm really excited to say that we'll be introducing that very shortly. And I've got meetings with both the Premier League clubs and the EFL clubs, the championship clubs, later today.
Views on Sue Gray leaving?
I'm really grateful to Sue Gray. I think she's done an enormous amount for us. And both her and Morgan McSweeney are people that I've worked with for a long time and are the reason that we're here. Well, look, the Prime Minister will, at time to time, shake up his top team. He's shaken me up a number of times in the past, sometimes to my detriment, sometimes to my benefit. But this is the point, is that the gaffer picks the team, and he has to have a view about how things are working right across government. He's made those decisions over many years. I think he tends to make good decisions, and we're really grateful to Sue and looking forward to, certainly from my point of view, looking forward to working with her on our huge devolution offer, which will be the biggest transfer of power outside of Westminster and Whitehall in a generation.
So you're confirming that she was fired?
Honestly, I've not been privy to any of those conversations at all.
And I
have no reason to doubt what they said. She put out a statement at the time saying that she considered that she'd become a distraction, that she was very keen to take this new role. I've got no reason to try and undermine that. I know that she's got great integrity, so has he, and we're a really strong team. We've done huge amounts in the first 100 days. We're legislating to bring the railways back into public control, setting up Great British Energy, and this independent film tax credit that we're introducing today will put rocket boosters under one of our most successful industries. We're focused on the job, we're cracking on with the job, and we're working as one team to do it.
Favourite Taylor Swift song?
Well, once... Oh, God, I shouldn't say this. It's going to get me into loads of trouble. Once at the height of the Corbyn years, I did dedicate We Are Never, Ever, Ever Getting Back Together to the Labour Party on a radio show. But we are in a very different place now, thanks to Keir Starmer and his leadership. So,
you know what mine is?
Go on.
Who's afraid of little old me?
Stop it. It's perfect. And on that note, I'll be hot-footing it out of this seat before you ask me anything else.
See you later. Thanks a lot.